Last week, the biggest names across the cybersecurity industry gathered in San Francisco at the RSAC Conference to map out the future of cyber. Joining me now is Doug Merritt. He's the CEO of cloud networking platform Aviatrix. Doug, welcome to NYSE Live.
Thank you, Ashley. Very good to be on again.
So good to have you. What are your biggest takeaways from the conference?
As you'd guess, there isn't a tech conference happening in the world where AI is not front and center. Every conversation was focused on how rapidly AI is progressing and a lot of concerns around whether we've got the right security controls around AI or not. The interesting element that I saw in cyber, there's two core elements. How do you stop the bad guys from getting in? And then what do you do if they're in? The world is still really focused on how do you stop the bad guys, which is really important. We obviously want to do that. But when they get in, the most important element is how do you contain them? And that clearly is a lot of what we're focused on here at Aviatrix and the world really needs, especially in the cloud right now.
How has the cybersecurity landscape changed since we've seen a rise in AI? And what types of things are you seeing happen in that realm?
Yeah, last week was interesting for a breach that we can talk about, this light LLM breach. But if you think about AI, there's two elements that people are talking about. One, it's a new set of tools for the attackers and the defenders to use, and that's getting a lot of airtime. But when you hear there's a massive new attack surface and it's attached to AI, what people are saying is AI, cyber is all about protecting software, hardware, networks, data from the bad guys. AI is a whole host of new software, hardware. It generates a ton of data. It uses networks. Without networks, it's incapable of doing its work. And that creates a new attack surface, new things for bad guys to go after, as well as giving them the tools to attack in more ingenious ways. And that new attack surface is deeply interwoven with the decades of existing software, hardware networks that we're already trying to defend against. So it's not just a new attack surface, it magnifies that attack surface, and it's growing exponentially. Every agent that comes in is a new piece of software, and it needs software to actually operate. This breach that happened was a critical piece of middleware that people weren't watching. So it's both tools and attack surface that provides both concern and the need for new defenses.
And how is all of that changing the conversations or informing the conversations that you are having at the conference?
Well, right now, as I talked about, most people are worried about prevention. How do I stop the bad guys from poisoning the AI agents and having them act in a bad way, much like turning an employee rogue, so that the access that they have, they'll use to give sensitive data. What happened during RSA, not a surprising timing, I am sure, a hacker team poisoned a commercial version that you download over the web, the commercial version of middleware that's used in over a third of enterprises globally to connect all the users, all of us inside of a company, to the core LLM engines, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, that we all talk about. Because it has this critical middleware, it has all the keys to the kingdom for the key data repositories and software within the cloud for every corporation. What they poisoned, they inserted malware that immediately had that software, once it was downloaded, send those keys to the bad guy's site. And it installed a bad door so they could get back in and do harm. That was the simple prevention that people are missing, that I am blogging about and videoing about and talking about everywhere I can, is if we just pivot back to foundational network security controls, we can govern exactly what those agents and middleware talks to. It was a known bad site. It's like having the bad guys get into a vault, but you've got a set of bars that come across and keep them inside the vault. They're there, that's not great, but they can't do the damage. They can't take the jewels and the valuables back out. So I'm urging all executives to look very carefully at their cloud stance and make sure that they have that network level security to stop these bad things from happening, because a lot more are going to happen, and they're going to happen very quickly.
All right, Doug Merritt, CEO of Aviatrix, thank you so much for joining us on NYSE Live.